Hey everyone, this is my personal house and I've had a lot of requests to show this. So hopefully I get this done eventually. I'm going to put together a bunch of different videos of it and show you what it's like, what we did to it, how we bought it, all that good stuff. It's about 6,600 square feet, including the walkout basement. Has a 5-car garage, half an acre. My wife actually found this house. I'm a broker, real estate agent, real estate investor. And I was at a conference and she texts me and says, "Hey, I found a house we might be interested in." And we weren't even really looking that hard. And I said, "Oh, great, whatever." And then she says, "Has a 5-car garage." I said, "Okay, let's go look at it." So I'm a bit of a car nut if you guys have seen my channel at all. So we'll of course show the garage and the cars, but I've got the Porsche 928, the Lamborghini Diablo, the Aston Martin, and the Lotus in there right now with my wife's Escalade. And then the Audi has to sit outside for right now. And the Mustang is at another commercial shop where we store materials for our flips and different stuff. So we bought this for $560 about 6 years ago. Probably worth $850 in that range now. Haven't done a whole lot to it, but it's been a fantastic house. Really love it. We're a bit of house snobs and there's very few houses I actually really love, and this is one of them. So we'll show you the inside. It'll be kind of in parts when it's actually clean. We have a 2-month-old baby and then 8-year-old twins. So we do use the house. It's not perfect. If there's anything wrong, if there's weeds, if there's trash, I blame it on the 2-month-old, not me. A few things we did. We added this sidewalk, this patio. That's kind of bushes before, planted those. Cleaned everything up. It was kind of a mess when we bought it on the outside, not too bad. But we did clean it up and make it a little nicer. My wife painted the doors, did some other things. So we'll go take a look inside, show you all of that. And might be some stuff cutting in and out. If I forget things, want to add stuff. And then I'll also try and do a little bit of the numbers of this house and my previous house too, to show you how that house, which we bought for like $200,000 and sold for $350, gave us a tax-free profit to buy this one. Okay, it magically turned into night. We're gonna take a look inside, and it's really windy and cold. It changed really fast. One of the cool things about this house I always wanted are the chains, and those are like gutters. And in the winter, when the snow melts, it turns into a giant icicle. I'll see if I have. Snowy night. There are the gutters in full effect. All right, we've lived here 6 years. The house is not perfect, and that's how we bought it. So when I do a lot of my flips and people complain it's not perfect, that's how I live, so it's okay. A lot of stuff is going on in this house, so I'll try to remember to talk about it all, but I may have to cut in later, fix some stuff, we'll see. But this, as you can see, is the main room, and 2-story living room, which I think is really cool. One of the really cool things is the dart we have stuck up there that we haven't been able to get down for like a year. But here's the living room, great room. And then the weird thing about this house, which is kind of funny for a house this big, is it has this little room here, which is either kind of your formal living room or an office, but there's no doors. You can see there never were doors with the wood beams. So that's a little strange, and it's only like 11 by 12. So it works for us great. It's kind of the kids' art room, but it is a little strange for the house. And then over here we have another room kind of like that, which I think is supposed to be your formal dining room. And as you can see, that is our formal dining room table right there. But it also is not, a huge room for a house this big for a dining room. It's like 13 by 12 or something like that. And we're not very formal, so we left it as kind of the kids' playroom as well. We did paint that room, then paint it again. I think we painted that room. All of this paint is all original. These floors are original. You can see there is, like tiny bit of damage right there. But I kind of like having scratched up, beat up floors, because then I don't get mad when my brand new floors get scratched and beat up. They're already that way. So, all right, we'll make our way into here. You can see that's the upstairs. We will go up there eventually. It may or may not be daytime when we do that. There's the kitchen, kind of dining nook over there. When I first saw this house, I mentioned the loft was something that was really cool, but just the open floor plan. I love big rooms, love open floor plans. Don't love tiny closed off rooms everywhere, even though there are those two small rooms in front. This is really where we live and hang out, so it was pretty cool kind of the first time walking in here and seeing, wow, this is huge, and the kitchen is gigantic, and that's probably where we made the most changes. These all used to be really dark wood, not quite black, but very dark, kind of the distressed wood look. So we had all of them painted white. Oh, there's the dog. Hi, Dottie. Yes. Oh, and there's Piper. Okay. So, had the cabinets painted, and then painted the ceiling. That used to be kind of gold up there. Jenny painted that blue. And some of the big changes we made was we had a really small window right there with more cabinets. We had cabinet on the far left there, more cabinets on the right, and just a small window in the middle. So we took out those cabinets, put in a much bigger window, which really made it so much different, so much more open and bright in here, and that was really nice. Some other interesting things on this kitchen. We have two coolers right there, so it works really great for the kids to put their water, soda, drinks in there sometimes. That's cool. We have two dishwashers right there, and a third right there. This house is kind of crazy with all the stuff it has. You know, your sink right there, sink right there. They both have disposals. Hot water, the instant hot water is right there on the right, which is really nice to have. We have another water dispenser over the stove. We did redo the backsplash. That was really dark. I hardly even remember what it looked like. I do have a picture of the kitchen when we moved in, but not a video, so I'll try to impose that at some point here. That hood was already there. Didn't do anything there. The cooktop was there. The appliances were all here. Haven't changed those out at all. And then that's our fridge. The Sub-Zero, two, Sub-Zeros right next to each other with the fridge, and then 4 freezer drawers. So that's also pretty cool. Right here, you can see that's what color. The island used to be black, and we painted it white. It was darker than the cabinets. And our microwave used to go there. We just recently took it out and have a little microwave in the pantry. But I'm not sure what we're going to do there yet. We were going to do something. We changed our minds. Now we're not sure. But that's where the microwave used to be. Right here is the mudroom, which is super cool. Painted those. Those were also the same dark distressed wood. Painted those kind of the fun green. That goes out to the garage. And you can see it's not perfect. Dog scratches, which may have been there when we bought the house. If we've ever even painted that down. Here is the garage, and if you hear children screaming, those are probably my kids in the backyard playing, so they're okay. They just, for whatever reason today, are screaming a lot all the time. So here's the garage. I do have a car problem. The Audi stays outside, as well as the Mercedes over there. You might ask why we have a Mercedes and the Escalade, and the reason is we recently bought the Escalade because we felt we need more room, we in quotes, and for Irely, the new baby. The Escalade is bigger than the Mercedes, has more room. We leased the Mercedes, and to trade in the Mercedes before the lease is up would cost us more money than to just keep it. So we're trying this thing like swap a lease where someone takes over the lease, but otherwise we just have another blue steel vehicle. But the Escalade, I have to admit, is super nice. We bought it used, so spent $53,000 on it for 2016 Platinum Edition when they're $104,000 new. So much better deal that way. always try and buy everything used. There is actually room in there, if we didn't have so much stuff, for 3 cars if you wanted to cram them in. But then we wouldn't have room for any of our kids' stuff. So we just leave it with 2. The 928 goes in there. I have a 1991 Ford Mustang as well that is in our commercial storage shop. I've had that car 17, 18 years. It was my daily driver for a long time. Green, convertible, 5.0 with the supercharger I put on it. Yes, I put it on myself a long time ago. I love that car. And over here, the Aston Martin, the Diablo, the Lotus, all have their space. And technically, this is the messiest part of the house, I'm sure. At least that you'll be able to see. There might be room to go ahead of the cars and put like another garage door in over there. But we have to get approval from the HOA. It's quite an ordeal. And I could also get lifts, or I could just do nothing, which is what I have done. Hopefully at some point I'll have another really good commercial spot to store them, or I'll get lifts, or I'll do something. But for right now I just complain about it and don't do anything. The lifts and the cars are in, yay. It is a little tight up here. You can see the garage door is really the limiting factor. 15 or 1800 square feet total, because this is almost 30 deep. It's like 35 wide, and the other side is 30 wide and like 25 deep. So oversized 3 car plus an oversized 2 car. It's pretty awesome. We did put in the heater, so it's heated up there. Tons of cabinets and storage. My super messy workbench where we build cars and robots and different stuff with my son, and my daughter left me plans over there with the flower on it for her new battle bot she wants me to build. And then the key wall for my cars, which has to be doubled up now. That right there, like our little coffee station, used to be a desk, and we took that out, made that much more useful. It seemed kind of weird to have a desk kind of hidden in the dark corner. Right here, our pantry, which goes back there a ways. Really nice to have that. I said that's kind of our dining area. We're not very formal. Oh, my wife's cool pink phone. It actually works. You can call in, but you can't call out. You can't use rotary phones to call out anymore, but it does work to call in. Out there, the deck outside, we show that in the daytime so you can see a little better. And then, oh yeah, on our big wood beams, you can see we have that swing there, and then we have the cool little swing right there. So the swing can go on either side depending on how we have our living room arranged. Sometimes it changes how it's arranged, and that's okay. Oh, there are the dogs. Say hi, Piper. Downstairs, we will go down there as well. There's the kids' playroom again. We have a half bath right here. You can see that. The beautiful cow pictures. Kids' room, and then we'll head back to the master bedroom here. Oh, one thing is kind of interesting. Well, a couple things. That switch, I don't know if you can see it very well, has screens for the windows up there. Oh, look at that, it didn't even work right. But they used to go all the way down, and now they don't go all the way down because we added a covered portion to our deck right there. So we'll show that outside. But it used to go all the way down, no longer does it do that. Our paper airplane is still up there, so that's kind of cool. So that happened. Oh, and these light switches, we had to replace those because it had like programmable switches. This house was built in 2005 or 2006, and apparently I have a lot of electricity that runs through me, and I literally shocked 4 of those or 5 of those, and they completely stopped working. So we had to replace those. They're like, those are remote control switches, I think, but I just destroyed those other switches, and my electrician said those were really bad switches. All right, we'll head into the master bedroom. It is about 20 by 22, huge master bedroom, really cool, big bay window, and it has a TV built into the ceiling. Now, when we bought the house, they told us it did not work right. The TV works, but it did not go up into the ceiling all the way. And ironically, when we had our twins, they were 2 or 3, we were changing them on the floor right here, and the TV started going up in the ceiling by itself, and we could not get it back down. So I had to crawl up into the attic, mess with the motor, got it back down, disconnected it, and now the TV stays there all the time. So very interesting. Dottie is right by her dog door that we did install. Very nice having the dogs being able to go in and out without us letting them out. You can see we used to have a fireplace right here. The one fireplace in this entire house was right there, a red gas stove. We didn't like it, but it was weird that a house this big did not have a fireplace. There were plans for one in the living room, right in the middle of the big windows, but I'm glad they did not end up doing that. We have a fan here as well. And as you can see, these are 9-foot ceilings, and those are solid core doors. We've taken them off before, and they are heavy, very heavy. All right, so here's the master bathroom. This was all black, all painted black. We painted that white, and our tub right here, which is a very interesting tub. Yes. It comes from the ceiling. That's kind of cool. It is an infinity tub. So as you can see, the tub will fill up all the way, overflow into the moat type area, and the jets will come on. Really cool. Has lighted LED lights in it. Really fancy. Something I would never do if I was building a house myself, but it's kind of cool to have right now. So here we have the shower with the cool mural, the Rocky Mountains right there. And then we'll kind of walk this way to show you the inside of the shower. Has 2 overhead showers, and then a side one, and the wall shower right there. That is my fern that I've had for probably 30 years. Had it when I was a kid, had it in college. It almost died because I went home to work with my parents for a summer. My college roommates did not water it. However, it managed to survive. It's still alive with us today. This door at one point we did shatter and break somehow. I don't think anybody was near it, but it did break. We replaced that. There is the toilet room in there. And here's the closet. So this is one of the cool parts of the house. I think it's 13 by 16, something huge. Has its own island. And then on top of that, its own laundry room in the closet. So we have one upstairs and one down here too. Really cool feature of the house. All right. So that is the master bathroom. Master bedroom with Dottie on the couch, her favorite spot. Piper likes to sleep back there in her bed. And we'll head back out this way. So we will head upstairs. And one of the things I really wanted when I was looking at houses, or not even looking at houses, but wanted my old house, was a loft. And look, we have a loft that overlooks the living room and has a cool staircase. And this is something I wanted to build in my old house, but we couldn't do it because the rafters were engineered trusses, and it would take an engineer and architect to redesign the entire house. So we didn't do it. But still, has a very cool 2-story living room, our giant Christmas tree, which I think is like 12 feet tall. So those ceilings are 18 feet, I think, if I remember right. Pretty tall. The cool wood beams, which are structural. And then looking down on our entryway below, oh, there are the dogs. And I don't know if you saw it, my son's, one of his paper airplanes managed to get up there. So here's the loft up here. Right here is my wife's crafts room. And this was kind of a computer room from the people we bought it from. And they just had computers lined up along those counters everywhere. And so we just converted it into her craft room. And you can see it's huge. It's definitely big enough to be another bedroom, but does not have a closet. If we had to, we could put a closet into the attic. And I don't know if I should show this. She'll probably get annoyed at me, but oh, that's where I decided to cut a hole in the wall to see into the attic because we didn't have any other access. There was no access to it, no access to the garage or anything. So I wanted to see what it looked like in there in case we decided to put a closet in there. So I cut a small hole, and then our contractors fixed it, and we figured we'd paint it whenever we get around to painting this room, which I don't know when that will be. Nothing like the fun of cutting random holes in your wall. All right. My daughter loves gymnastics, although she switched from that to aerial now. So she does like tricks and stuff on hoops suspended in the air. She loves it. It's really cool. But she still has that. Here is Brecken's room. You can see the bedrooms are gigantic. I think this room is 21 feet deep and like 16 feet wide, something like that. They all have walk-in closets. Brecken really wanted me to add this to the video, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. What'd you get?
A chameleon.
What kind is he?
A veiled.
What's his name?
Igor.
Yep, Igor the veiled chameleon. Let me see if you can see him. Hi, Igor. Nice to meet you. And this is the original carpet when we bought it 6 years ago. It needs stretched, but it's really not in bad shape. And then you can see we have the view. That is the giant house with the lake over there. You can kind of see it through the screen. And then we have the view of the mountains, if you can see them, that direction. And the view has actually gotten better in winter because all of the leaves are gone. You can see it's taken me a long time to make this video because there's snow on the ground. And it's December and almost Christmas, and when I first started it was middle of summer. But we have much better view with the leaves gone. And the guy who owns the land behind us, which is part of that estate, took down a bunch of trees to create, that's a horse arena. So they are slowly cutting down some of those trees, which I don't mind because I get a better view. But I think my wife likes the trees. And he has his own bathroom, as you can see. Tile. We really haven't done a whole lot up here at all. Maybe a tiny bit of painting. And honestly, I can't remember what we painted. Oh, we did do. Most of the work was in here. The laundry room. So we just had that done. New cabinets, new counter. And you can see those there. Before, what was this? I can't even remember how it was. But it didn't look nearly this good. And then that's our 3 tankless hot water heaters right there, which usually work great, but sometimes the vents get clogged and they start beeping and you have to come up here and reset them. But super nice having those 3 working and easy hot water. You can see these cabinets are cool. And part of the hot water heater system is a small little hot water heater that I don't even know how the whole thing works, but there's a lot of crazy stuff in this house that I don't really know how it all works. And here's Irely's room, our 6-month-old. And we did redo this. I guess we did redo a lot of it. Never mind, I'm completely wrong. We painted in here, put up the shiplap. I should say we had someone paint in here, put up the shiplap. I did hang that, I think. And she has a really good view as well, as you can see. And this room is the smallest bedroom, and it's like 13 by 15. Also has a walk-in closet. And then right here, we'll see. That's another furnace up here. One furnace upstairs, 2 furnaces in the basement, 3 air conditioners, 3 tankless hot water heaters. Lots of stuff going on. Here's her bathroom, which is also kind of a hall bath too. So 2 bathrooms up here. And then you can see her room, which is even bigger than Brecken's. And we painted in here as well. She has a walk-in closet too. There. But this room is probably like 18 by, like, if you go all the way to that wall, over 20, but over here like 18. So she has a huge room. It might be bigger than that. And then you can kind of see her views, which go out the front. And then making our way to the basement. A lot of states don't like to use basements as living square footage. Colorado does. So we have 9-foot ceilings down here, lots of room. Obviously, it's definitely living space. Walkout basement, which is really nice. And then the big tall doors, just like we have on the main floor as well. And the really cool part about down here is the theater room. So when we bought this house, a lot of the furniture came with the deal. We asked for it. So some of these chairs were here. We did get the new couch. Same speakers, curtains, paint was all like this. We did add a new projector to update that. I put up a bigger screen that's like 120 inches. Got a new receiver, but pretty much this is how it was. Same carpet and everything. And then the light switches, when they work, are nice. The one-touch, dimmer. It's just they're not as much fun when I shock them and they never ever work again. So, right there is the furnace room. 2 more furnaces down here and a bunch of wires and cables that I just don't do anything with. Then we have another storage room here and another kind of like almost safe room behind that is outside the house footprint that's concrete with a steel door. That's kind of cool too. Down here, we also had some furniture that was left, but we got rid of that eventually. It was nice to have that extra furniture just because the house was so big, we did not have enough stuff to fill it up. Kids love it down here. This is kind of the first major purchase I ever made when I bought my very first house, like 17 years ago, the pool table, which I got from China. The Connects, why did I leave that up? Because Brecken always loves for us to make these. They drive me absolutely crazy, and so when we do get them done and working, I leave them up for a while. Right over here, you can see those shelves, the metal brackets with the glass. Those went all the way across this room, and the people who built the house had sports memorabilia, helmets, Bronco stuff, and we had those shelves up for a long time with kids' toys, and we just recently put those mirrors up kind of for the workout room, workout area. I do like to work out in my own house and not in a gym, as you can see. So that's really nice to have. We have the bar right here. This is the same carpet, same paint we've had for 7 years now. So people always talk about all the maintenance you have to do on houses, how much work they take. They really don't, because when you live in a house, you don't have to constantly fix it up, because then you're just going to mess it up again, especially when you have kids. So we did put this dishwasher in, another pantry there underneath the stairs, and these are the color of the cabinets in our kitchen before we painted them. So they're really nice, really pretty cabinets. It is just so much wood and so dark up there. And like I said, I do agree I like the white better now. And then, yes, the dartboard. In here, which I don't know what this room was, if it was like wine storage or something else. It has kind of a cool cork floor. But I used this for my weight room for a long time. And then you can see we moved all the kids' stuff in here. and we reused all those brackets for the glass shelves out in the other room. And yes, I actually did some manual labor and built these shelves and installed them myself. So I talk about not doing anything on the flips, but I have actually done it in the past and can do it if I have to. So, yep, there you go. Moving back this way, the treadmill. I do use that a lot. So one of my goals is to run 600 miles this year, and most of it is on that treadmill while I watch a movie. I used to play Madden football while I ran. That kept me motivated and moving, but actually those games were getting too short, so I switched to movies, and I do usually run 7 to 8 miles at a time now. Try and do that twice a week, but usually it's more like once a week. Oh, and I mentioned in a video a couple months ago how much my wife wanted a skee ball machine, and look what happened. I went out and I bought her one. Actually, I didn't. Our friends had one that they didn't want anymore, and she ended up getting it. But I thought it was ironic that all of a sudden a skee ball machine popped up after I had mentioned that. All right, the bathroom right here. Real similar to the upstairs bathrooms, the very, very upstairs. And they all kind of have these real kind of small vanities with tons of room. So I wonder if they planned for having big vanities, but then found these or wanted to change them out for these fancier ones. Because all the bathrooms kind of have this extra room, but they don't really use them because they have the small vanities. That's okay. Little pocket door there that goes into my office. So if you've seen my videos for a while, I used to shoot a lot of them in here, still do once in a while, have some lights set up. This desk, I always wanted a really cool desk like that. We got that off Craigslist for a couple $100 because they're so expensive if you buy them new, but it's a cool desk. The trunk we got from a house flip, so we do have a few things we got from house flips over the years. That was a really old, stinky, rotten one that's probably rusting through to the carpet, but it's still kind of cool. Just about all these books I have read, except for the really old ones that are mostly there for decoration. Oh, look at some of the books I've written. Those happen to be available on Amazon too, if you're interested. But anyway, I have a few more books I have not read yet. They're in my pile. Some of those I've read, some I have not. And of course, we have the car pictures. I can sort of almost play the guitar, but I don't do it very much anymore. I'm not like amazing or anything, but I can play a couple songs. Conquer the Resistance, my wife, she stenciled it on the wall for me. It's from the book The Art of War, or The War of Art, just meaning to fight through to the end when you're really close to doing something big. Amazing book by Stephen Pressfield. Highly suggest reading it if you have not. All right, so that is the basement. So here are our two dogs, Piper and Dottie. Dottie's about 2, Piper's about 15. We got her from the pound 2006, and she was about 2 or 3 when we got her. Doing amazing, has some leg issues, but still loves to play. Here is our backyard, our deck that has been a nightmare, but it's pretty much done. I'll tell you all about the deck. I have about half-acre. Kids stuff everywhere. The pond was here, but we redid a bunch of it. The sidewalk was here. We added the trampoline, the playhouse, all that rock. This fence around the pond we added. A bunch of the fruit trees we added. This fire pit circle area was here. The horseshoe pit was here, but a lot of this other stuff we did add. You can see if we walk all the way over here, that lake and house, if you can see it way over there, it's about 60 acres. They built the lake for that house. It's about 22,000 square feet. This is a greenhouse right over here. You can kind of see that goes with it. That the original owner was an oil guy, and he actually developed a subdivision. He built the main house. His son actually built this house in 2006. So you'll see kind of a lot of big rocks and different stuff. Landscaping is the same as over there. We have been over there last year for a fireworks show. It's pretty cool. But interesting that these two were built together. And I guess that sidewalk was originally built because they're planning to connect to his property at some point with that sidewalk, is the rumor. don't know for sure. All right, so this deck did not used to have that cover. It used to just be open, and when we first moved in, we had a pillow that actually started to catch on fire because of the sun beating down against the windows and ricocheting off the deck. Very hot out here, so that's one reason why we added the cover. My wife really wanted to add the covered part. I didn't because I didn't want to hurt the view, but I'm glad we did it. In the winter, when there aren't as many leaves, you can see the mountains pretty good. You can kind of see them in the summer, but it's a little hazy today. This deck was like a weird epoxy over a wood frame, but it had the finished underside for ceiling fans, which we're still have to do that. It's almost done. And so it was supposed to be like a concrete type thing, but it wasn't. It was an epoxy, and water just went through it and soaked it, and the frame kept rotting out over and over again. So we ended up having to tear out the whole thing. Had one contractor come do it. He came in, didn't have 16 on center trusses, like just basic stuff he did wrong. So we stopped. Another contractor come in, they had to redo, like rip out everything the first contractor did framing wise and do it again. So now we have a Trex system, I think it's Trex, with a built-in drain in there. So water it can rain on top, and it will drain into a gutter system that comes down from there out into the yard. And this is one of my wife's hobbies, the ducks. There's Phoebe and Happy. We call him Happy when he was a baby, or she is a baby, they're both females. And they do lay eggs, you can eat duck eggs. She would just run around like crazy like the movie Happy Feet, so that's where she got her name. Back here is a spot I don't feel like showing you. So there's weeds everywhere, but there's our 3 air conditioners up there. That one's been kind of tilted like that since we bought it. And that's the duck habitat. So Dottie, our dog, could easily jump that fence, but she doesn't know she can jump the fence, so that's good. Because I think 3 times Dottie has gotten Phoebe, and she doesn't try to kill her, but she plays with her, and she's a little too rough, and we've had to take Phoebe to the vet with puncture wounds, and she survived. However, Penelope, the first duck, did not survive one of those attacks. So dogs and ducks can sometimes get along, sometimes not. Piper doesn't do anything to them, loves them, so she's good. Like I said, this was all kind of weeds over there when we bought the place, and we had to bring in all the gravel, the playground we had built. I did not do it. I did not want to tackle that 200-page manual to do that. We're always, bringing in mulch, different stuff over there as well. Right here, the pond. So when we bought it, there's just flagstone everywhere. This grass wasn't here. So I ripped out all the flagstone. We put some grass in, moved a flagstone over here because there wasn't really, it's all just, I can remember, was it just flagstone here? So repurposed the curbing to create a little sandbox for the kids, which is a mess right now, but that happens. And then the pond was here, but I've cleaned it up a bunch, rearranged some things, and we do have, there they are, koi. I think we got those from PetSmart. We went in to get feeder goldfish just to see, hey, we'll get some feeder goldfish because the ducks ate all of my last fish, so they're not allowed in this pond anymore. But, well, we're out of feeder goldfish, but we have some koi. So I got koi for like $3 a piece. They're a lot bigger than they were when I first bought them. Like, oh man, this is a great deal. So those are pretty cool. We have tadpoles in there. They just actually matured, and we have lots of little baby toads all over the place, but there are hundreds, probably thousands of tadpoles in there a couple weeks ago. So Brecken, my son, loves that. And planted a bunch of flowers and different stuff up here. Those are lilac bushes among some weeds. Don't know where those came from. This tree has a good story. That grew that tall in a year. Literally, I chopped it down, all the way down, every year because it grows out of a rock. And so you can see the giant trunk growing through the rock, and every year it grows back. So this year we decided we're gonna see if it'll turn into an actual tree. And my wife actually trimmed it up yesterday. So there's some stuff around here. Another duck pond. random vehicle back there. Poured that patio and didn't turn out very well. That's okay. Apple trees, pear tree, another apple tree. So those are kind of nice to have. These are the giant rocks I was talking about. And they had lots of flagstone up here, around here and stuff too, that we just took out and put grass in as well. So that's the back. I'm trying to think if there's anything too exciting we left out. I'll see if I have a picture of it, the house without the deck. Oh, our window. So the kitchen window we redid, and it was much smaller before, made it much bigger. So obviously you can tell inside it's a lot better. And of course my daughter wants us to build her a princess balcony up there. That's the back of her room at some point. But I've told her not to get her hopes up for that happening anytime too soon. And oh, my son, we play baseball out here, and he's gotten to be an expert at scaling this fence at 8 years old. He just jumps up and grabs it, climbs over, and then that's the neighbor's yard, and you can see the greenhouse there. But they created that for horses, so that used to be kind of a ditch with a bunch of weeds and trees and stuff, a pretty deep like ravine, and they filled it all in with dirt. And so that's been nice, because the first few years we have quite a bit of coyotes who would be howling back there, and we think they had a den back there. Our neighbors actually said they saw a coyote on their back fence just like staring at their house, and they couldn't get him to leave. So since they did that for the horses, it's been nice because we've had a lot less coyotes, haven't heard them at all, don't have to worry about that too much. And we do see eagles, hawks, owls, all kinds of cool stuff out here. A couple of bald eagles were flying in the sky a couple of weeks ago, so we do have to worry a little bit about the ducks for that reason, because they can be prey to owls, eagles, but so far so good. The ducks are smart. Like if an airplane is flying up in the sky or anything up there, they'll tilt their head and just poke one eye up to the sky, and they're always watching, looking for something that could get them, because they can't really fly. They're pretty big and plump, and they know hiding is their only option. One of the better sunsets we've seen in a while. So that was the house. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and this is my office. So Blue Steel Real Estate is my brokerage. We do about 20 to 30 flips a year. All those videos are on YouTube. I have 21 rentals, including this giant 68,000 square foot building. I have videos of it on YouTube, so check those out. Have the new Supra. I don't know if that made it in the video or not, but I bought that after starting it. Appreciate all the likes, so hit that like button if you thought this video was interesting. Appreciate the subscribers, and leave comments below to let us know what you think. Take care. We'll be back.